Man, I am telling you, navigation in Among Us is a death trap. I die there round 1 almost every game, and I still keep going back. Oh snap, my fault. What's up, homies? Red Hood Ghost here, and today, as the title suggests, I'm diving into how Four Hearts Academy came to be. How I came up with the story, the characters, the entire X, Y, and Z. Four Hearts Academy was one of my earliest original stories I came up with in high school, with a slight asterisk on that. Like every writer, I found inspiration from other stories. The basic idea of a school of superpowered individuals might at first make you think that Harry Potter was the one and only inspiration, but honestly it had the smallest impact. It helped me come up with the number of classes to make, but that was it. The school idea came to me when I got hooked on the TV show Charmed. In the later seasons, magic school came into play, and it was a safe place for the kids, away from demons and warlocks and the like, where young witches could learn not just spells and such, but subjects like math and science, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I was like, man, I can go with my own rendition of this, and Four Hearts was, that rendition. I wanted to write a story where superpowers weren't entirely glorified because most of the people in the universe I created had them. In fact, being born without any was rare, and I bring that up in this story as sort of a plot point itself. Also, from this point forward, there are slight spoilers for the early part of the story, so if you haven't read any of it, then check the description down below. There are 100 plus chapters already published and free to read. The four main characters of the story are Nuria, Orym, Tyra, and Shuri. When I first came up with FHA, it was during a time when I was naming characters after people I knew. Tyra and Shuri had the same names as they currently do, but Orym was named Austin after myself, and Nuria wasn't even a girl in the original version. And here comes one of the early story spoilers I mentioned, but Austin, now named Orym, has lightning powers. I had to name him after myself back then because lightning is my favorite superpower. A lot of characters with that power are some of my favorites of all time, like Static Shock and Sailor Jupiter. And as far as Nuria, in the original version, she and Tyra were still BFFs, but since she was a boy back then, it was more romantic. I kind of shipped those two characters together. And another interesting tidbit is that the two of them were partially inspired by the same character. On screen right now are the Lyoko Warriors from Code Lyoko. 3 of the 5 were inspirations for Nuria, Orym, Tyra, and Shuri. The weapons Orym and Shuri used were inspired by William and Ulrich respectively. William used the Buster Sword, Orym uses the Buster Sword, Ulrich used 2 swords, Shuri uses 2 swords. You get the idea. However, Alita is a special case among the Lyoko Warriors as she's technically inspired 4 different characters since Nuria and her male counterpart Rei are obviously different characters, but also since both versions of Tyra have wildly different attitudes and personalities that establish them as such. Alita had an angelic aesthetic which both versions of Tyra inherited, but Alita also had a fireball power she developed later on in the cartoon. And well, Nuria's got fire powers. Another very early story spoiler, that's chapter 1 stuff. Please read the story, link in the description below. But they also have one more similarity, whereas they both love music. Alita loved to produce and make music more, whereas Nuria loves to sing and listen to music more so. Now you may ask yourself why I love this story so much if I keep changing it, and literally that's just because it's so much fun to write. Even just coming up with the powers of the main characters was a blast, and there's a lot more to the story than just the powers. At the core, Four Hearts Academy is a tale about adolescence, adventure, and acceptance. Four Hearts Academy is not going to be a short story, but it is free to read, and I upload new chapters every Saturday at 12 p.m. EST. If you fall in love with it and just can't wait to see more, then check out the Patreon, links for that and the main site in the description below. And if Four Hearts Academy is not your jam, don't even worry. It will not be the only story I write, and I guess now's as good a time as any to mention the Ghost Story Anthology. The Ghost Story Anthology is a brand of stories I plan to release across my tenure as a writer. Four Hearts is the first entry, but like I said, it won't be the last. I have another story releasing next year. Unlike Four Hearts, it won't be free to read, but will be a physical book for sale. More details about that will drop as the release date and other details are finalized. But that's all I have for today's video. Stay tuned for more content to come. The upload schedule for the channel is Friday to Friday. If a video is not uploaded one Friday, it will be up on the following Friday, always at 5 p.m. EST. Thank you for checking out the video. Be sure to leave a like and comment, subscribe, and read the story. Later, homies.